glistens. See this one shines, how he smiles in the light, my friend, my faithful friend. Speak to me, friend, whisper, I'll listen. I know, you've been locked out of sight all these years, like me, my friend. Well, I've come home to find you waiting, home, and we're together. And we'll do wonders, won't we? You there, my friend.
I'm your friend too.
Come, let me hold you.
If you only
now,
miss it
with
hard,
a sigh,
miss it
you
hard,
grow
you're
warm in my hand, my friend, my clever friend.
always had a fondness for you, I did.
Rest now, my friends.
Never you
Soon
fears at
I'll
all.
unfold you.
You can move in
Soon
here,
you'll
Mr.
know
Todd.
splendors
You
never have dreamed all your days. My lucky friend, till now your shine was merely
Silver's good
silver.
enough for me.
Friends, you shall drip rubies. You'll soon drip precious rubies.
Check 1 2. 1 2 3 test. 1 2 3 test. 1 2 3 test. Okay. Hopefully this one. Okay, so yesterday's video didn't save properly. I mean, it saved on here, but that's why it's not called Crimson Dagger Study Group 18. It's only Crimson Dagger Study Group. Actually, it just says live show. Welcome, my name is Miguel Coronado. I'm an illustrator living in Austin, Texas. This is my hour-long study session I stream live. There's some other artists doing this with me. There's a guy named CJ Marsh. If you Google search CJ Marsh Love Shack, I think you'll find his live stream. Yeah, we're doing an hour study every day. We're streaming it live so that other people can see us studying and feel not so alone doing this. Okay, so the video yesterday, I post all the videos to YouTube. You can find those videos at youtube.com/Mike086. Those videos yesterday's video didn't save, so sorry. Live stream, the way it works on my computer, it doesn't save on my computer, but it saves on online still. So study session 21, I believe. It's not in YouTube, nor will it ever be. But if you're watching this, hopefully it's on YouTube and it's study session 22, because I hope it saves. But it kind of just chooses not to save sometimes, so them's the breaks. If you see me scrolling on the right side, that's the thread for the Crimson Daggers study group, the daily study group. Anyway, this is us. We're post every day. I post my videos hopefully every 1 day, 2 day. They stay up on the live stream for like a month or so. So I post within the same week that I do the videos. So if you don't see them on live stream archive, you see them on YouTube. Anyway. So yeah. Hello, Klung Art. I'm just about to start the study. I did my quick spiel about who I am, what I'm doing. Yesterday's video didn't save. I'm doing good today. I'm much more awake. I'm not as like completely out of it, but I'm actually baking some bread too, so I got up to turn on the oven and whatnot. If you've seen the last couple videos, we're going to start off doing a cinema squid. We're going to break down some compositions for like 5 minutes, and then I'm going to just take one of those movie stills and we're going to do a study from them. So it's going to be a little different from the past couple days. It helps me change things up, and it also still allows for some composition study. So good morning, and what I'm doing is every weekday, Monday through Fridays, I'm coming on at 9 a.m. And on the weekends I'll probably come on later, because I like to sleep in a little bit on the weekends. Kind of give myself a weekend, even though it's not officially a weekend. Anywho, I'm just scrolling through these movies. Band of Outsiders, directed by Godard. I've seen parts of this. This will be the first ones we do today. It's a black and white movie, so it's going to help us break down. Oh, first time? Well, if it's your first time, let me explain some things that we're doing with the breakdowns so that you can follow along if you want. You don't have to, but I'm just going to say it anyway, so you're going to have to hear it. It's a daily study group. We study for an hour a day, every day at 9 a.m. We're starting a little early today, but after on the weekends I start up a little later, and I think I might do some paint overs and critiques on the weekends. But so past couple days we've been doing these. I'm about to open it for you so you can see what I'm talking about. It's comp studies, and these are just movie stills. Movie stills that we break down to 3 colors: black, white, and gray. And by breaking them up into 3 colors, we can identify large shapes within the image. So what we did yesterday is some of these are from like 2 days ago. What we did yesterday was we started with I think it was here. We started with the movie Prometheus. We started with a 5-minute composition breakdown, and then it went to a 2-minute composition breakdown, and another 2-minute composition breakdown, and then like the last like 7 or 8 were 1-minute composition breakdowns. So what does that mean? It means that we set a timer for 1 minute and we didn't go beyond 1 minute. So it helps make you faster in identifying the large shapes and identifying what's going on in the composition. So yeah, they get rougher. So like the first one, just you can actually kind of see like the details of the face a bit. It took time to do certain things, and then by the last few ones, it's really just like shapes. And it's only gray, black, and white. That's it. Just really quick breakdown into like 3 colors. So we're going to start off today by doing. You don't actually have to follow along too. This is just me. This is what I'm doing for myself. So if you feel like, if you're like, oh, I just need to do anatomy studies, just do anatomy studies. But like composition is something I want to study for the next forever. But these breakdowns help. And there's some other exercises I'll go over later. But anyway, what's going on? That's what's going on. You can I'll explain how I do this to you real quick. I'm just trying to find out what my last 20. Here we go. So, oh yeah, I don't think I know your work. If you want to, you can link me to your DeviantArt page or CG Hub account or a website or whatever. But feel free to link that in the chat because I like to check out everyone's work and become a fan or become a fan or not, I guess. I don't know where I was going with it. But okay, here we go. So I got some blank part of the canvas opened up. Cool. I'll look at that later. So the website I'm using is called Cinema Squid. I'm going to go over to Cinema Squid. I'm going to, let me start from scratch. I'm going to go to Cinema Squid. You just click up here on screenshots. Scroll down and pick whatever movie, doesn't matter what movie. Try not to waste your time picking out the perfect movie. Just pick a movie. I was doing Band of Outsiders, so I'll do Band of Outsiders. I've seen parts of this movie. It doesn't matter if you've seen the movie or not, though. Just copy image, paste the image into your document. It's going to paste it on a new layer. So what we need to do is we need to isolate. See how the frame is actually a square? It's not a rectangle. We need to isolate just that square shape because that shape is what we need to match our. We have to match our frame to that. So we're going to kind of set that up real quick. I'm just going to press Y. I'm sorry, not Y. I'm going to press W and click outside the picture. It's going to select the, it's going to select everything else about the picture. And you just Shift Command I, or just go to Select Inverse, and it select inverse your selection. Create new layer, and then we're just gonna dump the paint bucket tool, some white onto that layer. Deselect. Just move it down real quick. Okay. So we see that we have a white rectangle, but it doesn't match the frame still. It matches the picture we copy and pasted, but the actual frame is inside this rectangle. So let's really quickly just let's go back down to the movie still layer. Click the magic wand tool, and my picture happens to have this rectangle that's separate from the rest of the image, like color-wise, value-wise. So you click on that rectangle, it's not going to select the whole thing. If I click on this one, this part right here, see how it's being selected? I don't want that one, I want this one. Anyway, just a quick, I don't know how much you know about Photoshop. I'm just going to talk this way, because later on someone's going to watch this video on YouTube and they're not going to know what I'm doing. So, this is for all you YouTube people that have never done Photoshop before. Okay. All I'm going to do is I'm going to move this rectangle down here. And I'm just going to delete the part of this rectangle that we already have. I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. Like, I could actually just take off 2 chunks from the same side and reposition it, but it kind of doesn't matter. Okay, so now the frame matches the actual frame. So, I'm just gonna, the last thing I'll do is I'm just gonna click the wand tool on the square, and I'm gonna draw my composition breakdown with the frame selected, but it's hidden. So it's still selected, but you're not gonna be able to tell because I hid the selection. And I'm gonna get a brush that's like 100% opacity. So it's just like 100%. There's no transparency whatsoever. But you see how I don't select out. It doesn't really affect it. Anyway, okay. Now we start the real thing. In like 5 minutes I gotta go take bread out of the oven. So I'm gonna get up and go do that. What time is it? Okay, it's 8:56. Set a timer on my phone. I got my phone out, turned it on. I'm going to, I guess I'm going to stopwatch because I have a timer set for the bread. I'm just going to start a stopwatch, and we're going to count to 3, and I'm just going to, very quickly, create this. I don't want to spend more than a minute on it. I'm going to do this 3 times, and then I'm going to take one movie still, and we're just going to do a movie still study, which will be different, because we'll just sit there and we'll just spend the rest of the time doing that study. Okay? Okay. Layer 8. Oh, I'm sorry, not layer. Get on your drawing layer, and I'm going to start this timer, and 3, 2, 1. Alright, 3, 2, 1. There we go. I'm kind of quiet because you gotta lay in the colors real quick. The background, we're gonna call the background white because her head stands off in the background, so I'm gonna break it up that way. Not that it's actually white, but you gotta kind of make these decisions about what is going on in the frame. Oh, that's it. That was already it. So a minute's over. Alright, so roughly, let me go back in. Now that the minute's over, I'm going to fix it real quick. Just because if it's your first time, I do it every now and then, just to fix them up. Her eyes. Normally with faces, I always put in the eyes, just because that's a big focal point in a composition. Especially in movie stills when it's just a person's face. Like, the eye has to be in there. Anyway. Okay, so just doctoring it up a tiny bit. It's a little rusty from yesterday. But yeah, so a minute, and you can take some time to fix it up just a tad. Don't spend too much time. Just delete the movie still. You don't need that anymore. And then, oops. Just move that. It's 9 o'clock, the official start of the study group. Okay. I've reset my timer. Oh, okay. Actually, I'll be right back. I gotta go, well, they matter 6 minutes. Cool, sweet. Full-time animator. Awesome. I'll be right back. I gotta get the bread out of the oven. Okay, check 1, 2, I'm back. I'm actually baking bread right now, people, so just took some bread out of the oven. Okay, next movie still. Okay, we're just gonna do 2 more of these. I don't really want to spend the whole morning doing the comp studies again, because I did that the past 3 mornings. But anyway, we're just identifying big shapes. And I'll probably switch movies when it comes time to do the actual, whatchamacallit. When it comes time to do the actual thing we're going to do. No, the movie still study, like an actual study of it. I want to do something with color. And, anyway, big shapes, that's what we're doing. Big shapes. So what you want to focus on. Don't worry about what it is, don't worry about if it's a person or not a person, just the big shapes. Ideally, at the end goal, after we get all these movie stills done, we're going to kind of come back to some of these and pick out a composition and work within that composition. And some of the more nondescript ones that were done in under a minute, it could be anything, you know, like recreate your own composition from those, or there's another way where we could take elements of each composition and rearrange them. Anyway, there's some more exercises to do, but we'll come back to that another day. It's just the basic. Oh, and yeah, so we'll probably do the same exercise we just did, or that we're doing today, but with classical paintings. Yeah, same exercise, classical paintings. Yeah, let's do it again. Just set up your frame and just, try to get it done fast so you can get on with it. This isn't about staying on the study. It's not like you're going to get magically notice new things. I mean, you'll notice little things, like there's certain things going on here, right? But Godard had this particular way he set up his frames. Alright, let me get my timer going. It's only a minute, but I just want to make sure I keep it. Okay. I'm going to do it again, like on the count of 3. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. Too big on that frame. Okay. Oh my shit, crap, the whole thing's lagging now. Oh, there we go. Okay. So anyway, I get a little quiet on these because I got a minute to do this. Crap. That's it, minute's done. So, there we go. In the actual composition though, I will note that the tree line behind him, there's 2 tree lines. The first tree line cuts across the top of his head, and then the second tree line starts from the top of his head. Anyway. So the second tree line's like right here. Which is one of those things that I like to... Sometimes they're not intentional. When it comes to the movie things, like, they have happy accidents on set where, like, things line up perfectly. Or not perfectly, whatever. But at moments like that where, like, a tree line splits right across where the character is in the frame. I remember that in the movie it only happened in that one instance, but in terms of the still, yeah, in terms of the still, it's pretty much like a, whatchamacallit, it's a nice little like occurrence where it's not, it's almost a tangent really, but it's so far back it kind of doesn't read because he has so much more contrast on him. And I think an even more simplified version of this would be to just have a, like, in reality this whole frame is actually just gray with the sky and the man whose head touches the skyline. That's the real thing that's going on here. The darkest parts are within the coat here, right next to his face, and his eyes. His eyes are little dots. But the real frame is more of like gray with a figure, and then the white on top. Because the tones are so similar. Or you can just look at it like it's like a triangular shape, triangle shape, triangle shape, triangle shape. There's a bunch of little triangles stacked on top of each other. Anyway. Let's delete that movie frame. Oops, wrong one. Delete the actual movie frame. And we'll do one more, and we'll get on to a movie still study for the rest of the time. Okay. One more frame, one more speed one. The next one is going to be a long study. You're welcome. Oh, you're talking about the other Miguel. Hello, Miguel. It's nice to meet another Miguel that's doing this illustration thing. I bet you thought you were the only Miguel. I actually go by Michael. Everyone that I know in my real life, I say my real life, I mean like the non-art community, everyone I know calls me Michael. So, not exactly Miguel, just because I grew up being called Michael. Everyone I know from the concept art, or not the concept art, but like the illustration community calls me Michael. Alrighty. Oops. Hate that. Anyway, gotta work on a poster today for the Vampires Project. If you don't know what the Vampires Project is, it's my daily, not daily study group. The Vampires Project is my endless summer pitch. Well, it's not really summer anymore at all. It's just like the endless pitch, but it's gonna be a feature film my friends and I are trying to do here in Austin. I work with a lot of local film people, so it's I've got some good connections to actually get this thing off the ground, but you know, it should be a fun go. But there's a thread in the endless summer pitch on the Crimson and Daggers forum called Vampires short film. I got some stuff I did for it. Some of the stuff's really old now, but The newer stuff's on the bottom, of course. Well, that's how it works with any thread. There we go. So, if you want to see what that's all about, it's all in that thread, which I will go ahead and just link in the chat for everyone. There we go. Endless summer pitch. Endless summer pitch is basically your, if you got an idea, just kind of go for it. Naturally, I'm not going to be able to show you anything because the internet's not working properly. But alright, let's go on to the next study. After this study, we'll after this comp breakdown, we're gonna just do a long form movie still study, just to get like some color and lighting covered. If I'm gonna pick a different movie, I want to do something with color. So, one more time. Excuse me. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. So, and the background's majority gray still. Car here, subject, front, center, dude, car. The bumper kind of pops off the car just a little bit. And that's it. That's a minute. I'll undo that one line. That's a minute. Okay, that's good. It's good enough. It's good enough. It is kind of a big error here. The dude with the hat that's in the car should be right next to that tree in terms of the framing. I mean, I say kind of a big error. Like the whole thing's kind of messy, but that's the whole point of the composition study. It's supposed to be messy and just get the shape in. I should be a little more zoomed out, honestly, but anyway. It's generally the study. On the slower studies, I had more time to like hatch out certain areas if I needed to. Hatch out like an area like this, because it's not quite as dark as the others. There we are. We don't want to waste your time doing all that. Let's get on to an actual movie still study. Gonna plan out, I think we're gonna do a still life on Sunday. I think Sunday is gonna be a still life. And we'll do like a 2-hour stream. But I gotta finalize that. Because I was gonna pull some people in on a Google Hangout. And it's actually gonna be it won't be a live stream, it'll be a Google Hangout. It'll save to YouTube. So, anyway. I'll figure out how that works. I'm just going to save this document real quick and close it. Let me pull out a movie frame. Now that we've done the comp breakdowns, we're going to go into a movie still study. Oh, hey, there's your art. Okay, there we go. Cinema Squid. Let's go to screenshots. And let's just find a movie. This one looks interesting. It's got Michael Caine and Jude Law. Sleuth. Here's an interesting one with some colors going on in here. Interesting colors. Some cool lighting. Taking a little longer. I'm gonna do this one here. It's got some nice lighting. It's got nice lighting. It's different. It's like a blue light and like a pale kind of fluorescent light. And it's got a younger man, an older man. I like this one. I like this for a city because there's different things I can kind of work on. Sleuth. Jude Law. Looks like Michael Caine betrays him. That's another good one. There's lots of good stuff here. So, oops. Colored lighting. Colored lighting and interesting things, interesting angle. Actually, it's a pretty cliche angle actually, but here's one with red lighting. Okay. Well, looks like Jude Law dies at the end. Sorry if that ruined the movie for anyone. Okay, starting document, just paste in. And I'm going to take away these things. Oops. Select color range. Click the black. Turn down the fuzziness. If you do a color range and turn down fuzziness to 0 and click a color, it picks just that color. With the exception of these edges, something we can't see is going on here. Yeah, let's just do it with the marquee tool, whatever. I just don't want those, those rectangles. I want to see the actual frame, not this border. If I paste it again, I can use it as a measuring device. Just make it line up with the edge. And then select it. Just inverse it. Delete it. Deselect. And here's my bottom. Okay. Just setting this up to work, that's all. Okay, so we got this bottom frame. Okay. There we go, that's it. So, let's get to drawing. Let's get to actually doing something. Let's get into this. Okay, so I've talked about a movie stills before. Ugh. I've talked about how I do these, and there's like a way I'll start laying down colors, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to color pick. I'm going to lay down colors, so I'm going to color pick from those, and then I'm going to color pick from the frames, and I'm going to check the numbers. I'm just going to cross-check my numbers as I work. And for me, when I do movie still studies, any kind of photo study actually, when I do photo studies, I really I like to double check as I work, just to make sure see if I'm guessing it right, like if I'm really guessing that color right. So that's how I go about this. Not everyone has to do that. I mean, you could just copy the damn photo, but I like to just double check. I'm just testing my eyes to see if my eyes are picking out the right color tones, and I use the shift button on these studies. I'll use like shift to like make straight lines, but I try and not use too many Photoshop shortcuts, only because I kind of want to practice my hand. Like I want to get my hand in practice, just like doing straight lines and stuff. And for me, it's just one of those things that like it helps if I don't use like the pen tool, and if I don't use certain tools. And then in a few minutes I gotta take the bread out of the oven, so you gotta bear with me when I do that. But so let's double check real quick. Let me double check this. So in this photo here, there's a mid-tone kind of created by the light. See, like the light has like this mid-tone. It gets darker above, and then it gets lighter below. But what I want is this mid-tone, because I can adjust from that mid-tone. It looks like I'm off. You can see my color is, hold on, that's picking my color, so my color is close, but it's a little darker on the top one. So it's pretty close. It wasn't entirely there, but anyway, now I'm gonna click white. I just click on some other color so I can erase it from the eyedropper tool. I don't want to color pick from the photo, because color picking from the photo doesn't help me learn anything. But I mean, I am going to cross-check what I am guessing. Just kind of like checking your math. Just double check your math as you work. You know. Yeah, you know. Something I am noticing too, I completely kind of didn't pay attention to the frame for a bit, because the frames are exactly the same size and they're right underneath each other, so like if this line doesn't like meet down here with my actual frame, then I'm not doing it right, you know? It's supposed to like, all that stuff doesn't change. The verticals don't change. If I had it horizontally, there's like a horizon line, it'd be the same thing. Anyway, I'm gonna start drawing now. I'm just gonna start painting it in. I'm not gonna talk as much about exactly the process, but just kind of talk about some general things I'm thinking about. Oh yeah, so too, if this is like your first time listening in on this, I'm not really teaching. I'm not trying to teach. I'm trying to just explain what I'm thinking while I work. And I think it's value to listening in on someone else's thought process while they're trying to study, and they might go over certain things that you didn't think about. So it kind of helps a lot in that regard. But spend some time on that color picker whenever you are trying to, when you're, I'm using HSP sliders too, but when you do pick your colors before you put them down onto the canvas, try and really pick out, really try and get that as close as you can. Think of it like a traditional oil painting or something, like really try and guess that color, because like once you put it down, if you're off, you can always paint over it, but like, so it was a lot darker. Anyway, if you don't know how to get the HSP slider, you go to Window, click Color. It's going to be window that pops up, and you click the side, and you can go to Grayscale slider, you can go to RGB sliders. We have the HSP slider. That's what I'm using. It's a little closer right there. Anyway, that's the general info for you. If you're watching this later on YouTube and you don't know what the hell I'm doing, with the, like where I got that color picker from. You can color pick from your own image too. Don't, when I talk about not color picking, I mean like from the photo itself. So this is a difference. It's a difference in doing that. So another way we could do this too, if we wanted to kind of really think about the relationship of objects in the frame, is I kind of have the frames like touching each other, like right on top of each other. So like it's easy for me to go up here and go, oh, okay, this line goes into here, and because it's so easy for me to do that, I kind of lose. I kind of lose out on some of that, like eye-hand, not coordination, but like an eye-hand kind of sense of measurement, where I can kind of guess, like, okay, this is about here, and I get more of an exact positioning, which takes a little bit away from what I'm learning. Like, and the main reason I'm not too concerned right now is because I'm just trying to focus on colors and light. I'm not really focusing on actual translations of like contours with my eye. Like if I really wanted to focus on that, I'd do a still life, like a real still life, and not have a photo frame pulled up. So when you do a real still life, there's no, if I have something set up in front of me, there's just no way I'm gonna really. Oh, you could do that atelier thing where you measure it out, but you know, it's not going to be the same as like really trying to pick it apart and identify those relationships, proportions and stuff. So here, this is something I'm noticing, is that up in this top picture, let me put the pointer tool. We have the blue that's really saturated, and then we have like a darker blue, and it kind of gradiates outward. So it's going to be like a hard line, and I'm going to like blend a bit to kind of get that gradation look. And I probably should have put that in earlier, but whatever. Okay. I'm trying to stick to one brush just for the sake of when it comes time to render. I can oops. That if you just heard that alarm, that's, I had to get the bread out of the oven, so I'll be right back. Hello, I'm back. So, if you're a younger artist out there and you're not quite used to cooking, if you don't know how to cook, just a quick reminder that you will need to eat in your lifetime, so you need to learn how to cook and grow up. But if you haven't ever baked fresh bread before, you should learn to bake bread. It's not that hard. It's not hard at all, actually. It's super easy. And impress your friends by baking bread. If you're going to college, or you will be going to college, impress all your college friends by having fresh baked bread. It's really good. It's amazing. There's no preservatives in it. And yeah. Anyway, if you're Mexican, learn to make tortillas. I do flour. I don't do the corn when I grew up. I didn't grow up having fresh corn tortillas, but I did grow up having fresh flour tortillas, and I can't stand store-bought ones. Makes me kind of picky, but I don't care. I'd rather eat toast than store-bought tortillas. So I eat a lot of toast. Unless it's homemade tortillas, I'll have those. Or if it's like a restaurant, if it's a restaurant, I like the tortillas at a restaurant. That's different. Even though they may be store-bought, I'm not going to be that picky. I'll be like, where's the bread? So I'll be like, you're at a Mexican restaurant, sir. You're not supposed to be eating bread with this. Anyway. If you don't know how to cook, you should learn how to cook. As Robert Rodriguez once said, not knowing how to cook, it's like not knowing how to fuck. Kind of whispered it out. You probably heard it in the chat. It's one of those life essentials. You gotta learn to cook, people. You can't draw forever. At one point you will have to eat during the day. You will have to eat. If you know how to cook, you can save time driving and picking up food by having something in the oven while you work. It's a good way to have something going while you're working. Something in the oven. And then work while it's baking. Oh, excuse me. Man, I'm starting up a new schedule, so this is like, my schedule was kind of everywhere, but now I gotta actually think about how early I have to get up for these studies, because I'm doing them every day at 9 a.m. And if you're wondering when I do these, it's every day at 9 a.m. On the weekends, I will be sleeping in, and I'll do the studies later. I just don't. The weekends, I just want to get some kind of relaxation and rest, and not feel like I have to be rushed to do anything. I still do work, I still study, but I do it on a different schedule. Just a little more of a relaxed schedule. Yeah, it's one of those things too where some people have an easier time in the morning, some people have an easier time in the evening. I feel like getting up early and doing stuff in the mornings, which just isn't that early, but actually getting up early and doing things in the mornings is more productive for me than waking up in the evening. Staying up late. Although I think I end up doing the second, the late, staying up late a lot more often than the waking up early. Typically, if you need to, what's going on here? Why is my eyedropper tool working? Typically, if you, god damn it, there we go. Typically, if you need to wake up really early in the morning, you probably did stay up late trying to finish whatever it is you're trying to finish. So then you make it harder for yourself by not going to bed on time, and then you try and wake up early to work on stuff, and you feel like crap because you didn't get enough sleep. Yeah, so probably do a better job blocking in some of these dudes earlier on. Like the way I'm structured it out, I started building the background. I'm gonna start building the foreground now. But it's typically a better idea to like kind of block everything in and then tighten it up. I just kind of say that just so you know. But taking it slow like this and kind of working from the background and works out too. It's a little different. It's like a slower blocking in. But like, let's say I had to, for some reason I had to do a movie still for work or something. And if I worked at like an actual studio place where people are coming by and checking out my work, if I hadn't already blocked everything in, and I just started like blocking in the background, someone might come up behind me and be like, dude, you haven't even drawn the two guys in. Why are you drawing the background? Like, if anything, draw the two guys first, because like they're the subjects. But if I had everything blocked in, people are like, oh wow, you kind of got everything blocked in, you just tighten things up, cool. There's a different perception on like what you've done and production mindset versus like a non-production mindset. Works out well. I often work with clients in person, so I have to like have these experiences where I have to like actually work right in front of them. Lots of people don't do that because I work in the local film industry. It's like indie directors needing storyboards or something. I had to actually meet with them and talk with them about the project, and I like to actually start doing the work at the first meeting after we get all the paperwork signed, but like do a few sketches just so they can kind of get a feel for what they need as far as level of detail. So I'll do like a few sketches and figure that out that way. Gotta pick out some kind of like lighter tone. Sorry if we got real quiet just now, I'm just trying to... I'm just placing in the lighter tone here, but it's a lot darker on this one. This row is darker, this row of books here. And likewise, part of these books are pretty dark, and then that row is pretty dark, and top of this is pretty dark. Yeah, I think about things like right now what I'm thinking about is like, one of the things I'm thinking about is if I actually were doing an illustration where there's two characters looking at something off the panel, off the frame, and if I actually did an illustration like this, would I make the effort to make the bookcase in the background look that detailed in terms of color range, or would I keep it more monochromatic so that the characters in the foreground pop off more? Crap, this should have been moved over. No, this side shouldn't be moved over. It's something is off with that bookcase, the perspective, or something. I'm off on it and not doing it right, because I'm getting these spatial relationships that are slightly off. Something I'm noticing as I do this. I'm not too concerned with it yet. It's not really going to throw off anything else, I don't think. But I'm wondering what I did wrong. I think it's the bookcase. The perspective of the bookcase is off. It's slightly longer, and I've changed it slightly, unknowingly. So like, it should come out more, it should be more like this, a little flatter. Yeah, it should be a little flatter like this. It shouldn't be at such a harsh angle. And the only reason it's reading is like that harsh angle is because I put these objects in. So I gotta redo those objects real quick, just to get it closer. It doesn't need to be exact though. It doesn't need to be like perfect. I mean, it helps to be perfect, but right now in the study that I'm doing for myself, I'm focusing more on colors and light. It's one of the reasons I wanted to do it today. Just as a quick like reminder about how things work. But if you were just trying to work on site relationship, like object relationship with your site, then you might be like, oh crap, I really messed up right now. Sometimes I do that, and like I said before, I normally just do that in a still life, because it's just easier to like put the real object out there and have to make a decision about the frame. This is one of the things you lose from doing photo studies, is that the frame's been chosen for you, the composition's been chosen for you. You can't really change it, because all it means is you're cutting off the frame. It just means you're cropping it. It doesn't really mean you're actually making a decision about composition. And if it's a really good photo, if it's like a really good photo, then you're basically changing a really good composition for the sake of changing a really good composition. You know? And there's just no reason to do that. You shouldn't do it for the sake of doing it. You should do it because there's a better option. So, anyway. So yeah, that's something. It's got like a face. It's been drawn. It's like a drawing of the face in the background or something. It's clearly a woman smiling, but I kind of drew like a terrifying ghost person. Anyway, trying to do a stream of thought talk. It's a little tough, because I think when we do these studies, CJ and I found out that we kind of run out of things to say at one point. We're like, all I can tell you is that like I'm still thinking about color. I'm still thinking about how the light works. Just now, the reason I redid the face in the background, because I really kind of wanted to nail that in a few strokes. I didn't really want to come back and do this, but because I didn't do it the first time, I kind of want to do it now. And the background image is pretty fuzzy too. The actual background image in the painting in the photo is pretty fuzzy. So I feel like, oh, you know what, that's what it is. I switched my brush, shouldn't have switched it. This one has some softer edges. I switched it to like a more hard-edged brush, and I don't. It's not really. It wasn't really helping me. If you don't see the chat on the video stream, it means I can't see the chat because I don't have two monitors. So let me check the chat real quick, just to see if anyone's like, "Hey, what the hell are you doing?" Whispering makes it sound dirty. Oh yeah. Just a photo study. Just a photo study, people. That's all it is. Gotta make it look somewhat like Jude Law. It's a thing too, whenever you have these like recognizable actors in these photos that you're using, you gotta make it look kind of like them because everyone knows what they look like. If it were just a random photo I pulled off the internet, it would be like, just be like, I guess he got him right. Like you wouldn't really know the difference, you know. There's a good video series I found on YouTube. I think I've seen part of the videos before, but I've never seen like the whole series. They're by, what are they by? Hold on, I'll tell you in a second. I'm just trying to block in Michael Caine's face, or his head position. Okay. The videos are by this guy named, I have him open, Shady Safadi, and he's got a series of digital painting videos, start from 0 to 8, and he goes through the entire process of making a digital painting, and it's a really good video. It talks about, like, he assumes you know nothing about digital painting and you don't have Photoshop, and like he kind of like goes through the entire process of like how to get Photoshop, how to install it, how to start working from the ground up, and kind of like in that order. So it's a good little video set. I need to finish watching them. I started watching them yesterday. Okay, so now I'm going to speed up a bit because now I want to kind of just, I really want to get in there and start figuring out some things. More of the red. And the way that HSB sliders work, it's like, you have your hue, so you put whatever color you want. You just go to, like, if you want green, go to the green area. If you want purple, go to the purple area. And you pick out how saturated you want it, and then you pick out how dark you want it. Basically how it works. If you're kind of wondering what you would do to figure out what or whatever, you know. So I'm going to keep going to this. I go to like a reddish orange. I bring up the black almost to white. And then I take the saturation, I bring it down until I start seeing these like flesh tones. And then I come here, paint on the flesh tone, and the my brush's opacity has been set, so like I'm not getting the exact color I picked. I'm getting like a blend of it, which is exactly what I want, because I want it to kind of look like I need that flesh tone color that's in the photo, but in the photo itself, the actual flesh tone of Michael Caine has been affected by all the lighting that's going on inside the scene. So to achieve that same kind of effect, we pick out a flesh tone that looks just like a regular flesh tone, and then I brush it in slightly more gently than I would. Like I don't come in here and go like really harsh. I don't press really hard. I just like lightly brush it on. Anyway, so y'all see how that works, and then it kind of gives you the underlying color, which in this case we have blues and greens, with the flesh tone color, which is pretty much what's going on in real life. The flesh tone is affected by the lighting, and there's a translucency to the flesh, so that we get this I don't know if it's called subsurface scattering, but you get that light within the flesh. The skin is lit up outside as well as inside by a light. You just like hold the flashlight to your hand, you know what I'm talking about. Ooh, his head's pretty big. I need to tighten it up a bit. Like his hair is super blue because his hair is like really white, so it's gonna like come off. Like white hairs are just clear. You know, like there's no actual white hair, so it's just when the hair turns clear. I guess it is kind of white actually, but it's very much translucency to the hair when it turns white. Kind of just loses its pigment entirely. So the hair is going to come off looking like this cotton candy color, even though it's not actually cotton candy color. It's bread, the counter. I'm almost done here. Oops.
Are you live streaming?
What was that?
Are you live streaming?
Yeah, I'm about to be finished. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and stop now. It's already 10 o'clock. What I'm going to do is I'm going to save this frame. I'm talking on the thing. I'm going to save this image. And I'm going to work on it more tomorrow, because I want to kind of continue this and just get further along on it. So I'm just going to save this as a photo study, WIP for work in progress. I'm saving it as a Photoshop file. And tomorrow I'm going to continue on the same photo, and we're just going to really work on it. So yeah, then we'll also do some composition breakdowns again. So anyway, thank you for joining me. Hello, Ko Totoro. I'm gonna go now and have breakfast, and then I'm gonna get back on and work later. But thanks for joining, and y'all have a good day. Stay warm if you're someplace where it's cold. And if you're someplace where it's hot, then cool off, I guess. Cool. Okay. I'll see everyone tomorrow on the live stream. 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.
I feel